Hello, my name is Kenneth Clarke and I have Multiple System Atrophy, MSA. Multiple System Atrophy. You can Google it. MSA is a progressive degenerative neurological disorder, which is very rare.
Lucky you.
Lucky me. MSA is a disease which affects your autonomic system and your nervous system. Affects your movement and it affects all the things that you shouldn't have to think about. Like your digestive system, blood pressure. It's difficult to say when my symptoms started, but I had various complaints about 4 or 5 years ago, ranging from tinnitus to sore knees to worrying about my memory, and they were all palmed off as stress or having 2 jobs and young children, working too hard, not getting enough sleep, eating the wrong things. It was all kind of suggested something had to be at fault. I knew deep down there was something wrong and I was needing to see a neurologist. By this point it was a pandemic. Appointments were thin the ground. I eventually had a face-to-face appointment with my own GP. Basically said I need to see a neurologist. By this point I was dragging my left leg, struggling to move both arms at the same time. So a referral was made to Glasgow and the expected time was months. And I felt it was getting faster, progression was getting worse. I didn't want to wait months. The doctor asked if I was in a position to go private, which I wasn't really, but it was all that mattered. So it was decided that I would go private, and 2 weeks later I was sitting in front of a neurologist at Glasgow. I did various tests, including the kind of birdie dance test, where I couldn't do that with both hands at the same time. I can do it now because of
Still can't. No.
Still can't do it fast, but I can. Before I was doing this.
Yeah.
And I left there with a estimation that it was Parkinson's disease, which I'd already googled extensively. Symptoms. I was glad somebody agreed with me that I wasn't a hypochondriac. There was something more serious wrong. By this point I could barely wiggle my toes. And when I took the medication that very night I went to bed, I could feel life coming back into my legs. Fast forward a few months, the effects of the medication was getting less. There wasn't much difference on or off medication. At that point they started to wonder that it was something more serious than Parkinson's. And in December 2021 my diagnosis was changed from Parkinson's to MSA. The diagnosis is a clinical diagnosis. Basically, you have to rule out loads of other things, and you're left with MSA as the probable diagnosis. It can only be confirmed by your brain when you no longer need it. Obviously, things started to change. We had to hit it head on. We had to deal with it when I knew it was coming. I was very young to be diagnosed with it. It's difficult to know how things will progress. Every person is different. Symptoms show in some and not in others. Thanks to a great team of health professionals in this area, I got plenty of advice. A wheelchair, a ramp, weight room, bed. Predicting what's going to happen is difficult, but having the facilities in place to deal with that makes life a lot easier. I'm now a year and a half in. I'm 42. I've got my wife and 2 kids, 7 and 9. I'm self-employed, still managing to work as much as I can. I'm a graphic designer and I'm managing to work from home. Not as much as I used to. I've now got a van instead of a car. I've always wanted a van.
Just you can't drive it.
Learning to adapt and accept things and hit things head on has been key. I stay as positive as I can. I always like to have a joke. If you don't laugh, you'll greet, as my gran would say. I've had loads of support for the MSA Trust. Katie Rigg, the healthcare specialist, has been great. She's got a big patch to cover because it's so rare. The specialists cover large areas of the country. The main advantage of the trust I find is the support groups, whether online or in person. The wealth of knowledge of the healthcare specialists and meeting other people who know how it feels. People who share the same disease can be quite beneficial. I was quite apprehensive before going the first time, but now I look forward to them. They're very good. Also, there's a wealth of online resources, loads and loads of fact sheets about all the possible symptoms, and there's also a one-off grant available to help with any needs. The MSA Trust also provide funding to record and bank your voice while you still can. Unfortunately, one of the symptoms is losing your voice, becoming difficult to talk. So, especially when you've got kids, I think it's important to bank your voice so that if you do need a digital voice, it'll be your own voice and not somebody else's or a robot's.
This is what it sounds like.
Looking to the future, it's quite unpredictable. Nobody knows what the future holds for anybody. You can only control the things you can control, which is staying positive, try your best to keep going and enjoy life, make the most of things. I'm still trying to work as long as I can, still trying to be creative, and still trying to be myself, still trying to crack the odd joke. MSA doesn't define me. I'm still Kenneth Clarke. I'm still me.